Yeah, I remember my first shift going out there. I mean, you feel like you're going a million miles an hour, and you're so pumped to be in the NHL. And I remember, thinking it'd be great if I could score on my first shift. Like, what a memory this would be, and buzzing around, and all of a sudden the puck comes up to me in the slot, and I get this great chance, and Marty Brodeur stops me, and I remember being disappointed, but at the same time, I almost had a little smirk on my face, thinking, this is great. I just got robbed by Marty Brodeur.
The first kind of wow I'm in the NHL was my first preseason game in Washington. I started, and of course Ovechkin was out there, and he started, and there was actually a picture of us kind of lined up together. He obviously is a much bigger guy than I am, but I looked over and I'm like, wow, that's Alex Ovechkin. 9 years later. So it's pretty cool.
Probably it was the first time, I think it was like 10 to 15 games into the season, we went and played the Islanders on the road in the old Nassau Coliseum, and I remember just playing absolutely terrible. And they had a big team, they're flying around us, and I kind of realized they're like, wow, like this is the NHL. You got to come ready every night, and as a young guy, you kind of realize like this is what it takes every night, and this is kind of what the league's all about, and this is about the level you have to play to be in the NHL. So that was kind of when I realized, welcome to the league.
So nervous before the game, and it was a good nervous, but I think I was skating 1,000 miles an hour that game. I was so excited, and ended up scoring, and I had a ton of family and friends there, and it was we were playing against the Leafs, so it was a great atmosphere in Joe Louis Arena, a rink that I grew up going to watch games. So it was just a lot of emotions, and I do remember like sitting on the bench after. It was like, wow, I just scored in the NHL. This is pretty cool.
Very nervous. We ended up losing 3-2 in overtime, and a couple of days later I played my first game at the Garden, and having a pretty solid game, and last minute or so I can hear the crowd chant my name, and that was a wow moment. It was like, this is too good to be true. This is really happening. I'm playing here. I'm feeling the support from the fans as a young kid coming into the league, and it was just it was a great moment for me, something I'll never forget.
My first game was a crazy moment, walking out the door in Vancouver. That was an awesome moment. And then a couple of weeks later, I played my first playoff game, and I feel like that was really my, like, wow, I'm here. I remember we were playing in LA, and obviously the Anaheim-LA rivalry is something else. And I think we were in LA. I don't remember which game it was, but I was told I was playing, and that atmosphere and that element, and playing on that stage against such a big rivalry, it was pretty crazy. I remember I kind of had to pinch myself to just remind myself where I was.
My first shift, I didn't touch the puck once, I think. And when I got on the ice in second shift, I touched the puck in defensive zone, gave it to Kovalev. He went inside. I went in front of the net. The first shot, I scored, and I was like, holy, like I'm in the NHL, and that was a great welcome to the NHL. First goal on your first shot doesn't happen to everyone.
I had, I guess some people call it a cool goal. It was top 10 for a while, and that was when I started getting text messages from my college buddies and my mom and my dad. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I don't really care about the glory and people knowing who I am, but it's kind of nice to kind of see that stuff, and it's funny to see. When I was younger, I was going into middle school and into high school talking about, oh, did you see that goal last night? And you see this guy make that play, and then I guess kids are starting to do that about me.
Going out for a warm-up, it was a sold-out crowd. Everyone was chanting. Obviously, it was Winnipeg's first game back, but playing against the original six team, and you're playing in your first NHL game, and and you have guys like Carey Price, on the other side, trying to score on him when you're just getting to actually experience playing in the NHL for the first time. I think that was my wow moment, and the amount of nerves that I had for those first few shifts was pretty insane. But it was, that was definitely my wow moment.
My kind of welcome to the NHL moment, and it's funny because I played with his son this year, and actually got to tell him this story. But we were in St. Louis for my second preseason game, and I faced off against Keith Tkachuk the whole game, and he was chatting me up and being really nice. And for an 18-year-old guy playing against a legend like that, it was pretty cool.
Going against my boyhood, childhood hero in a shootout, first home game in the league, and ended up scoring on him. And I remember I was talking to my family and friends in the hallway, and he's walking by, and I remember asking him for a picture, and he's like, yeah, sure. And then, you know, after the picture was over, he kind of looked at me and said, hey, aren't you that kid that just scored on me in the shootout? So thought that was a pretty funny story. Still have that picture around too.